Set your butane torches to high and your expectations to low. Coming to you from the cigar cave in the hills of Steel City. Get ready to get your fix. This is the Cigar Junkies Podcast.
Welcome to the Cigar Junkies Podcast.
The cigar show for the community, by the community.
A forum that talks stogies, booze, food, and anything else in the cigar lifestyle.
If you're looking for ratings, negativity, or an authority on all things cigars, you came to the wrong place.
Whether you like what you hear or not, please join the conversation and let us know by finding us
At the Cigar Junkies Facebook group.
or contacting us at thecigarjunkies@gmail.com.
What's up, junkies? We are live on location, and there's an extra bald man on the camera.
Yeah.
I like outnumbering Sam.
Yeah, there's definitely an extra shine. I'm actually going to move that camera a little bit because his shine is
Am
a
I
bit
really
much.
shining?
Dude, it's
That's all right. That's what we do. If you can't handle the scalp, get out of the kitchen, right? I think that's the expression, something like that.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
So we got a couple of junkies in the audience with us live. We got a couple in the chat room already. Appreciate Seth Jones popping in as always. So this is interesting. This is exciting. I've been geeked up about this for months.
Yeah.
We've been planning on
quite
doing
some
this.
time.
I've been geeked out myself.
Yeah?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
For sure. So usually we start with the how's our week been, but I think we're more interested in how's it been for you. How was the travel?
Hold on, I'm going to cut you off. I think more interesting than that is where does one get that floral print?
Dude, okay. So I'm a big fan of roses. My tattoos are roses, right?
Do you drink four roses?
I love four roses. So, oh my God. So I might have drank some four roses one night and decided that I needed a jacket with a rose on it. I just thought I'd get a jacket with a nice little rose. So I just typed in rose jacket like an idiot, right? And all this stuff pops up. And on Amazon, there was this one. I'm like, all right, that's totally not going to fit, but that thing's ridiculous. And it was red. So I bought it. And it came in the mail, and it fit like better than other things I had fitted for me. And I was like, no way, this is like made for me. So now I've got multiples in different colors, and you know.
So do you have a rose tramp stamp? Is that the tattoo we're talking about here? Because I'm assuming.
Well,
you just have them in the shape of a target back there, or how's that going to work?
Well, it's a dude tramp stamp, so it's actually on the front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a really
little-
small rose.
So is it the stem?
There's more thorns than roses.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it the stem and is the petals above the bush?
All sticks and stem. Yep.
Seeds and stems?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, that's something like that. I think that's how it goes.
All right, for those of you who don't know at home, our first guest today is the one, the only Trey Max Shipley of Aladino Cigars. He is are you still the only?
Yeah.
The only sales rep. So he rose above all of the other applicants, and if there were any, I don't know. I don't have that information at hand.
Pick me.
So, in addition to that, Trey, I'm gonna save that for a little bit later. You want to just get into it proper and go ahead and talk about what we're smoking. I'm gonna play with this a little. We'll see if we can cut it off. You ready?
Oh man, you really going to try and do that?
Yeah.
All right.
It's time for the Cigar of the Week, brought to you by Lean.
Nelson Lagusto.
Okay, that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, so we are at Nelson Lagusto, excuse me. I really got to start saying it the right way. One of these times.
You're a cowboy,
I will
so
say
you know
the
it
right
makes
way.
sense. You know.
Yeah.
On a flesh horse, he rides.
Wow. That was one of your best quips
That's what I do.
ever
You didn't even have to say anything about barebacking.
Really, really good. That was beautiful.
That's what she said.
That was really loud.
Yeah. You gotta adjust.
So yeah, we're at Nelson
toys, guys,
Lagusto's
new
in
toys.
Greensburg, Pennsylvania. They're having the Aladino event today. So if you're watching, come down here.
Yeah.
now.
If you're not here, get here.
Yeah.
What time is it right now? It's about quarter to noon. The event proper starts at 12 and goes to 5.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say quarter to noon. I think it's normally a quarter to 12.
Is it
or
inaccurate?
It's noonish.
I mean, it's
but, like,
kind of the same thing, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is. I just
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Thank
ever
Potato,
heard of it.
tomato.
It's nice to have another bald guy
Yeah,
here to
I'm
back
on your
Bald
side,
thing is
bro.
a bit much.
For
I'm
sure.
On your side.
Get him. All right.
Yeah, so this Trey Mac guy is on your side. Let's see.
So what I'm smoking today?
yeah, I was
you
gonna say,
got
I don't
one
even
too?
know what we're all smoking. I got the
You got-
classic.
Yeah, you got one.
That's the new one.
Yeah.
What's
So
this?
why don't you tell the kids at home?
You tell
You're the
them.
expert.
So it's something a little different than what Julio has typically done. On this one, usually we get Corojo filler and binder. This one you got the binder's Corojo, the authentic Corojo, but then the filler and the wrapper's higher priming Habano. So it opens the door to a new crowd of people that, maybe the authentic Corojo, because it's got its own unique flavor. And some people might be like, well, that's too much of this, or I'm not used to that. This opens that door to everybody while still being true to who Julio is. I mean, starts off with a nice spicy punch, but then that goes away pretty quickly, and it mellows out. And you get a little bit of citrus and honey on the back end. It's a nice mellow smoke, man. It's classic smoke.
Yeah, I like it. It's classic.
Yeah. For the record, Sam's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Sam is not in love with the
With the-
Corojo
yeah,
taste.
the Corojo.
It hits some people and it doesn't hit others. So he likes some of the Aladino cigars, but like the ones that I love for that taste is not a flavor that's high on
Yeah,
his.
so you guys are like totally different in
Yeah.
that regard. And that's what's really pretty cool about the entire industry, really.
Yeah,
For sure.
Well, that's because nobody's offended by it. Like, oh, you don't like this? Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's why there's so many out there. Like, go find one you like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'm excited to see what you think of the classic.
Yeah, I'm playing with it slow because I had it at PCA with
With
8,000
a million other
cigars.
things, yeah.
So like, yeah, that's not a fair assessment
No.
whatsoever. So.
And I've done the Toro. Trey was supposed to get me some, and he failed. So our
Well,
homeboy
I
Seth
was-
Jones hooked me up. He
I
sent
should
me a
have-
I
Care
didn't
video.
fail. I was, somebody over there. He might have
Smoked
corrupted me. He
Yeah,
corrupted me.
maybe you smoked
In
too
fact,
much.
I think he actually blackmailed me with a video.
I was to say I actually have the video.
Yeah, the video of me and
of
my
you admitting your guilt.
none of these. And then I'm like, wait, did you record that, bro? And you're like, oh yeah. And I'm
yeah,
like, well, I'll send it to him.
absolutely.
Might as well.
For sure. I was like, feeling the love, for sure. Feeling the love.
All I get's a little text from Corey that's like, so I guess that means I'm not getting my cigars. And I was like, no,
I
no,
gotta
no.
tease you, bro. I gotta tease you.
Yeah, that's okay. I got a real friend out there in Seth Jones, another bald cigar
Seth
smoker,
Jones.
hooking me up. He made a purchase for me and shipped him to me. So, hell yeah. Thank you, Seth Jones. Love the Toro. Definitely exactly what you guys say it is.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more mild. It's got a little bit less of that Corojo punch to it. So it's I think it's actually a great cigar for new cigar smokers that
Yeah.
are like, might be intimidated by a little bit more flavor. It is a great mild to medium cigar.
Tons of flavor, but
yeah.
not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a punch in the face sort of thing.
I mean, I gave this to a friend of theirs that I'm talking about Chichingo and Patty, for those you can't see him outside of our frame here. But there's a girl that smoked some cigars but hadn't found one yet that she really enjoyed, but she was kind of trying, you know, and I gave it, and she was like, this is one of the best ones I've ever had. It very approachable for a new
Yeah.
cigar smoker.
Absolutely.
100%. And it's got enough keeping it interesting for just about anybody else, I think, too.
And for somebody like me that has to smoke all day, every day, I can smoke these all day, every day. No problem.
It really does have that honey finish on it too,
It
which
does.
is really cool.
It's
Like
pretty
it's
sweet.
definitely got a sweetness to it.
I like how you say that like it's a burden. Do you know how much I wish
I
that I
gotta
had to smoke all day
smoke
every
another
day?
cigar.
Oh, damn.
I
Woe
gotta
is
suck
me.
it up. I gotta suck it
Woe
up.
is me.
Although, hey, you gotta be in Vegas. Wasn't it like after day 2, your mouth is just like,
Dude, I was drinking gin like it was gun off style because it was the only thing that seemed to like
yeah.
temporarily cleanse it.
Yeah.
Like it was just anytime
Yeah.
I could get gin with lime.
It's like 12 cigars a day, man. And
Yeah.
It was like,
And then I mean you're not smoking all of them all the way through
No.
either. So you're like,
Boom.
okay, I gotta try this one.
next thing you know, you can't taste anything.
Yeah.
And,
I
okay.
got to play with the new toys. I got to. So we've been complaining forever about not having enough buttons. I mess everything up because I'm
Up
trying
on
to switch
there.
back and forth
So
between
now
our
you got it.
panels. So now, courtesy of our friend Kirill over at Jernigan's and Puff and Stuff, helped us out, got us a bunch of new stuff to
Kirill's
update the show.
awesome.
He's a good dude, man. So I got this Stream Deck here so I can not have to worry about any of this and just lay buttons down on
That's
you
cool.
motherfuckers the whole show and have a good time.
dig it.
So what was we try to stay away from the traditional questions, but I got to ask, like, what was the scenario that ended up leading you from what you were doing before to being a
So,
professional junkie?
I mean, Justo can attest to this when he gets on, but
And we want to hear. We want to split you up. We want your side first.
It all came together because we're rivals more than anything. Because I went to the University of Kansas, Justo went to K-State University for agriculture. So when Aladino was launching, he went out there. You know, of course, got to go back to his old college grounds. You know, hey, I'm back, and then he finds out, you know, they don't really have a cigar shop out there, right? But who does? Kansas. So he gets on the phone. He's like, I got to go check this place out. Now, me, I was like a really heavy smoker. Like La Flor Dominicana was my jam. You know, that's just pretty much what I had.
Hero.
Yeah. And this guy Justo walks in. I don't know much about him. I'm learning. And he gave me, I said, I'm a Lancero guy. He gives me a Corojo Lancero. I got about 10 puffs into the thing, and I just looked at him and go, I want everything you make. Because it was the first time I had like a more medium-bodied cigar that lit up all of my taste buds. Like I had to have that heavier stuff. That was the first time, and I was like, oh shit, this is a whole different genre.
I can relate.
Yeah, same thing kind of happened to you.
I remember the first time smoking it, and it's like, there's so much variety in the cigar world, right? And a lot of it kind of blends together, but there's differences. Everything, kind of has something that makes it stand out. But the first time I had an Aladino cigar, I was like, that is a more unique flavor than I've tasted it. I haven't tasted anything like this anywhere else. It was very much up front, for better or worse. Some people are going to like it, some people aren't going to. But it was like, okay, this flavor jumps out so far above everything else. It was unique.
That's what happens when you're unique. Sometimes your flavor ain't for everybody. You know what I mean?
Ooh, but
I bring the flavor, bro.
I have no doubt that you're unique. Not at all.
Go nuts.
Speaking of flavor. So I got a few questions that I wanted to ask you, but we need to turn you back over to Fred pretty quick. So I'm going to jump to the most important one. What other weird stuff are you doing in men's rooms? Do you do a lot of conference calls? Do you guest star on a lot of podcasts while you're hanging out in the men's room and
Tons
what
of
other
podcasts? Yeah, you guys got me live there. Yeah, I've done a lot of weird stuff in bathrooms in public, and
Really?
yeah, I used to when I lived in Kansas. My favorite place to take a deuce was the TJ Maxx women's restroom.
Nice. No, well played.
It was always clean, and they couldn't really say anything because my gender, my choice.
2022, baby.
Yeah,
You do you, boo.
Always perfect in there. Quiet, secluded, clean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you never know.
All right. So what about your? You have a podcast as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing several different things.
Okay.
So,
well, I know about a sports podcast. What's up with that?
yeah, so I've had a sports podcast for quite a while. This year, I'm just getting into live streaming. So every Sunday, you can tune into ZFG with Trey Mac Shipley, and I'm going to be live streaming all the NFL games. Think of like an uncensored NFL Red Zone channel with maybe some booze involved.
That sounds terrible.
I know, but terribly awesome.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That
so-
really sounds like fun. I don't even watch football anymore, but I'm like, no, that could be a good time.
So go ahead and subscribe if you want to get into
I'll
some
jump
weird
in
Sunday.
the same way I did when you guys had the YouTube live with you and Fred and the boys from the other Aladino Lounge, where I'm just going to jump in just to cut up and mess you guys up, derail you as much as I can.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal a smart-ass remark from Chichingo that he posted here, which says, you should be doing your podcast from the men's room and call it a podcast.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. That's
Well
really
played,
not
good.
a
sir.
bad
Well
way to
played.
go.
That's really good.
It's time for the flush with Trey Mac Shipley.
Hey, Trey, what's your opinion on...
He's got 5-gallon floaters. That's what I heard.
I love it. I love it. Got to drop the Browns off at the pool. Oh,
Get
sorry,
on.
Cleveland. Sorry, Cleveland.
Nobody's
What are you
sorry
going to
about
do?
Yeah,
So,
I think
There's a reason it's a Cleveland steamer.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you're
know.
aware.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
are you the steam?
I can be if need to be. I'm whatever tool you need, really.
You already hear he's a tool.
Yeah,
And
I
a
mean,
eunuch.
Yeah, I'm a unique tool, which is
Hey. He just likes his buttons too
I
much.
like pushing my buttons. What do you want? It's
well,
a new toy.
you've heard
got
of Snap-on tools. It's no different.
You want to show him your new toy?
the hell are you talking about?
It's over on the corner on the ledge.
Yeah, hold
You got a new toy. How many batteries does it take?
We don't know. It came with batteries in it. It was nice. So it was a good time. He got this live from Chichingo and Peppa Patty on the
my
show.
God.
Yeah, it's called the Silly Sausage,
Silly sausage.
and we had no idea what it was. They said he has to get it live on the show.
I love it.
Oh,
It's a bop it.
my.
You yank it, twist it, poke it.
No.
Oh yeah,
Oh, this is so bad. It's awesome.
yeah.
That's a new
it's
mascot.
fantastic.
It's a show
I know.
mascot.
It's, it's and I'll when you go off air, I'll let you see if you can beat the high score.
You know, you know what you need to do? You just need to get another microphone arm, a boom, and just attach that to the boom so
Just
he's
put the
on the
sausage
show.
on the show
There you
all
go.
Yeah,
the time.
put the sausage on the show.
Well, so I considered bringing bobblehead Chichingo, but he's actually kind of delicate, and I didn't want to
Yeah.
break him. And I knew we'd have the real deal here in person, so
See,
I
I-
thought I at least got to bring silly sauce.
I prefer to keep it the way it is and just be like,
Just
Like,
randomly.
while you're talking. Wait, I don't. Like, what do you seem distracted? What's
love it.
What's
I
the
love it.
problem, sir?
He pulls this out of an eBay box. It's wrapped in bubble wrap. He gets it out of there, and we're looking at it like, what the hell is this?
And then all of a sudden it clicks. I remember a conversation. I'm like, is this? It's a silly
It's
sausage.
a silly sausage.
Felt
I'm
like
so jealous. I need one.
Felt like it should have come with a case of nylon gloves and a tub of Vaseline, I think. And that's what our initial reaction was.
It's really good training for like the twist and pull.
And yeah,
You
the
really
whole
you can work on
Eye contact, guys.
Yeah.
Eye contact.
Eye
Exactly.
contact's
It's really
important.
important. And then when you're done, you just hit it on the bottom. But yeah, well, I mean,
yeah, you gotta really give
you
it.
gotta give it some.
I'm more of a thump.
No, really, no.
You
no.
said
You're
hit it
more
on the
Look at the
bottom.
size of those hands, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Trey's
Really just get at
eyes
it.
just went
Yeah.
went
I'm like, I totally
out
totally
there
get
for
it.
a minute, like Vietnam flashbacks when you said you
yeah.
got to hit it on the bottom.
Yeah, I
He
was
was
like, oh.
memories.
You know,
So-
I went like this, and I handed the sausage over, and naturally it ends up
Yeah.
over there between the pigs and
The pigs and the sausage.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
I mean, it's all pork.
It is. It's all. Yeah.
We
that
got a
is-
trifecta of porkers.
That
over
is an
there.
interesting thing we have going on over there.
So as interesting as this conversation is, I don't want to tick off our host by leaving you tied up too
we gotta
long.
get
You got
rocking
any,
and rolling,
any
baby.
final thoughts for Trey before we release him into the wild?
Nothing that I want to say on the record.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll save it for the after show. It sounds like a good plan to me. All right,
Guys,
Trey, thanks for
thank
coming
you so
on.
much for having me on.
Yeah,
man.
for
This
sure,
This has
man.
been a blast and won't be the last time.
No.
Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and let him go. I'm going to release you into the wild, and we'll let our next guest go ahead and saddle up here while we amuse ourselves.
I'm gonna play with my sausage.
That is
Pat
our
it,
strong
I'll
suit.
rub it, and I'll twist it, and I think I'll just love on it for a little while.
Life finds a way.
Hey, I got a new one for you. You're
Do you
going to be
wanna tell them
excited
who the
about
next one
this.
is? Because like right now they're just standing here staring at us awkwardly.
I did say it, but I could hear it in my headphones, but they can't hear it because they
Yeah.
don't have the
No, they
headphones. We'll get Justo, the man himself, the man behind the brand, the agricultural king, the master of mass-produced bottled water. You grab your headset right off the top there. Careful not to yank on anything too hard. Don't yank it. It's not a silly sausage. So and we'll have you get nice and deep into that microphone.
Yeah,
you don't have to. It's a first date. You don't have to deep throat it, but you got to get up in there a little
just
bit.
give it a
show
little bit
love.
of mouth love.
Yeah, we don't want any kiki momos
Here
here.
you go, buddy.
No, that's
So-
okay.
Now, are you sure you don't want to play?
No, I'm,
Come on,
He's-
I'm
he's like, this is being recorded. I'm not putting that thing in my hand.
He says you better have some hand sanitizer. You're gonna give me that thing.
All right, fair
for
enough.
sure. So, Justo Eiroa, I mean, you come from a family with cigar lineage like nobody else. Your brother, obviously Christian, of CLE fame. Your father, Julio, is got to be my favorite cigar blender. And
Thank you so much. That's
but you're in a different line from what most people see the face of the brand behind. Usually it's the guy that's doing the blending or somebody that's kind of in that realm that's out at the forefront. But I like the fact that you have a background in agriculture, right? So you're a little bit more on like, let's make sure that the ingredients are quality and then let dad do his thing and make something special out of it.
And I think that's what brings us together, my father Julio and I, that we both share that passion for agriculture. We both share that passion of getting new varieties. We share that passion of getting the raw materials right. And that's why you see in our portfolio, everything that we're coming out is just, we have something for almost every consumer palate.
Yeah.
For sure. And you know, we talk about the Corojo all the time. You guys have the unique and what I would call the original, right? What's the background on how you guys get the seeds there?
Well, we got the seed back in the 90s when actually Camacho took off and was given to us by the Rodriguez family, which is one of my dad's best friends from Cuba. And they had a very famous farm, which actually they kind of selected the seed and perfected it. And then during the blue mold era, one of the things that happened was most of the crops were wiped out, and nobody wanted to grow Corojo. It's very susceptible. Plus, it's very low yielding. We're talking probably 40% less yield than any other alternative.
Oh, wow.
And then the other thing that happened was there started to crossbreeds, new Corojo lines, which they're very good, but they don't have that intensity of flavor and profile that the original Corojo has.
It blends in a lot more with other tobaccos, right?
Correct.
It's a lot harder to smoke somebody else's Corojo and go like, that's Corojo, 100%. That's Corojo. It doesn't rise above like yours does. Yours has that unique characteristic
Just
where
because
you
you
know
call
you're
something
smoking.
Corojo does not mean and it is a Corojo known for the industry as a different variety, and you have to respect that because that's the new Corojo variety that was developed. But there is a huge difference when you taste the profile. It is completely different.
So, do you get a phone call from Dad and say, "Okay, that's enough of this silly water business that you're into that's making you ridiculous amounts of money. Come back over to tobacco so you can be poor again"?
Well, no. It's one of those things that it just happens in life. We went our separate ways, and then all of a sudden, it's time to wisen up and come back to the origins, and that's one of the things that I believe in. To support that, it's an industry that we've been there since the early '60s in Honduras, and it's important for us to also keep that operation going. There's a lot of families and people that depend on that. So for us, it's also very important to create opportunities.
Yeah, and I like that you bring that up because it's a family business. It's your family, but you're supporting other families, and you're really taking care of each other, and it's really cool and refreshing to hear.
Yeah, sometimes a lot of people do things because they're right to do things, and I think that's one of the things that for us is very important, that we give back to where we started for. So that's, times are getting tough now too, and it's important for us to preserve that.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what I don't know. Are you going to get rid of Trey anytime soon and get yourself a good sales rep?
No, actually, Trey's a very hardworking guy. He does a really good job. He's got a good personality. He's always looking how to grow the business, and he's learning. Because he was before behind the counter selling cigars, and now it's in the other side of the counter trying to sell cigars. So now it's you get dealing in the industry with great people, other people that are a little harder to deal with. And you have to adjust your personality to satisfy everybody. We're in customer service, so that's one of the things that Trey is able to handle real well.
All right, so I don't know if you could tell here, we're more of like a fun, loose format.
Yeah, and I'm more straight. I'm
yeah.
a little bit more square.
I can't ask you a question that you won't give a straight answer to and turn serious all of a sudden. So I'm going to go straight to the big guns. Who's going to win in a fight, you or Christian?
In a fight?
Yeah.
Well, we both wrestled.
Oh yeah.
So I guess they always says you always bet for the older the older cock when it goes into an older bull when you go into that. So but it's not going to be any fights. Yeah.
But you'd win though, yeah.
Most probably.
All right, you heard it here. It's official. The older cock will win.
Yeah.
That's how he described it. His words, not mine. Yeah. His views do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of the Cigar Junkies podcast. But we actually have a gift for you. So I'm going to give you your choice. One of our show sponsors, Tom's Penworks, is a guy that I work with that I found out he does custom woodworking in his shop in his free time. And he specializes in doing pens. So I have 3 options here. These 2 are both made from your cigar box wood. These are made from Aladino vintage selection boxes. Because I've got piles of empty boxes sitting at my house. And so I gave him the box wood, and he cut them up.
That's pretty beautiful.
And made these 2 lines out of that. Now, the other thing he's doing is custom order cigar band pens just for us. He never did them before. I can't see anybody else out doing them, at least not on this quality. So what he does is he takes a handcrafted piece of wood that he spins on his lathe himself, puts a cigar band on it, and then does like 10 layers of acrylic over top of them. These are high quality and
this
insane.
Is awesome.
So you get to pick between these 3 options which one you want to take home with you today. Instead of you giving out all the stuff today, you got a present from the Cigar Junkies and from Tom's Penworks. So
yeah, it's not an easy decision.
It's not an easy decision. Trust me. This is really, really amazing. Thank you.
Wanted to give something back.
Yeah.
Justo is actually the first one that ever gave me anything just as a gift. He sent me a box of the Corojos.
It's hard. I kind of like this one, but I also like the one with the band. So
well, here's the thing: you take whichever one you want today. If you want another one special, you tell us what you want. We could get you something else. I mean, the guy's making them for me. We'll get you taken care of. But you take the one with you today that you want. If you want the ability to have something with your logo on it, or if you want to take something that you could say this is a handcrafted, one of a kind, the boxwood, whichever, we'll take care of you.
I want to take the one with a band. It's just, but this one is this one.
That's a smart guy. He's a business mind. That's brand recognition. When you go to the bank and you pull that guy out, and people are going to go, "What the hell is that?" You can segue that into a sale. You know what I mean?
That's pretty awesome.
And they write really, really well, like the actual mechanical.
No, I could see. I could see. The refill ink is good quality. So it's good stuff. It's good
Yeah, it
stuff.
adds to it for sure.
100%.
Not just pretty looking like me.
Yeah.
It's actually got some substance to it.
There you go.
Unlike you. There
Unlike
you go.
me.
Well, last time I saw the Pittsburgh Cowboy, and I couldn't recognize him now.
Yeah. I thought you guys were Steelers. What's this cowboy shit you're doing?
Yeah.
Brokeback Cigar Lounge, I think he's naming his shop,
Hey,
something
calm
like
down.
that.
I
Just
have
the
no
tip.
idea.
Just the tip. Just a second. Just see
Kinda
how it
rhymes.
feels.
I says, okay, but I'm always the little spoon. I've never been the big spoon before. I don't have the physical dimensions for it. So, you're cool with that. I'm cool with that. So there's a good question. Are you a big spoon or a little spoon?
I'm a soup guy, so I eat really large food all the time. I love
He really is straight
Just
Daryl.
boom,
Yeah.
divert.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a skill.
played.
No, it's not a skill. It's true. I like eating soup all the time. As a little kid, my grandma did soups all the time, so use a big spoon.
My grandma chased me with the big wooden spoon
Yeah.
and she
Beat
hang
the
on
shit
the
out
wall.
of me. I did that same thing with mine. So
That spoon never got used for anything but whooping ass, which is good because
Which
you
is
don't
good.
want to contaminate the food.
I'll never forget my mom got my brother one time, cracked the spoon on him, and he turns around and he goes, "Did the spoon break?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm gonna act like it didn't hurt." And she's like, "You're still in trouble." Like, she just ran you
So
down.
you just get a new spoon and just beat the shit out of you again.
and he just took the whole conversation to like,
See, I'm loosening up.
We're getting there.
Exactly, like just like, wait, did that break? Oh, then I'll act like it didn't hurt.
I'm a marketing guy too, so my head's constantly moving. And what I'm taking away from this show is that Tom needs to make some cigar box wood spoons.
Some cigar boxwood spoons.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Hey, listen. You got the silly sausage over there. Don't be pointing your
I don't-
fingers at me,
I
buddy.
got nothing, bud.
Yeah. You got nothing. So we know you can find the information anywhere about your cigars. We can listen to interviews about you guys talking about the agriculture, about the seeds, about the tobacco. What has been the biggest challenge in coming back into the tobacco business for you? Like what's something that caught you, sideways that you didn't expect?
Well, one of the things that is the hardest thing to do is brand recognition. I mean, when you come out with a new cigar, and even though you see this throughout history of many guys that are coming, that in certain part of the history of their companies, they were bought out and they try to do a relaunch. It's really, really hard because the brands are known and they have the shelf space, and the people are really related to, especially the older generation, is already stuck to very traditional brands.
Yeah.
So when you come with a new brand, it's to get that cigar in people's hand is a tough road.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And then a lot of guys say, "Why would I bring your cigars?" I mean, I got plenty of cigars in the humidor, so it's really tough. Now the other thing is that one of the what has allowed us to do is a little bit of our history. The older shops that knew our previous brands, took a chance on us, and I said, "Hey, you know what? This is what we were used to." So it's easy to pick up that clientele that remembered us. But when you're out of the business for 6-7 years, it's a lifetime for a brand.
Yeah.
And starting from with a brand new name and starting to get out there, it becomes really, really hard. So there is a lot of road work that has to be done, a lot of shaking hands, a lot of sampling of the cigars. And then the cigars have to perform really well. But the most important part is for people to try them. Once you try them, then the cigar does is magic. But it's not an easy task, I'm telling you.
Where's the name come from? The Aladino.
Aladino is basically, if you look at the band, it's got 1947 to 1961. 61 is the year prior, 62 was the embargo. So that's the heydays of Cuban cigars. So basically, when Cuban cigars became very, very iconic and everybody wanted to have a Cuban cigar. So Aladino is the genie that brings you back to that golden era of cigars. So if you want to smoke a more Cubanistic cigar, that's what Aladino brings to the forefront. And those dates are there and as part of the branding. So you're smoking history, and that's what you're looking at.
No, it's beautiful. It's actually the first time I've heard that story at all, which surprises me because, I don't know, you usually hear about stuff like that. So it's really cool to find out why.
Yeah.
And I like there's a sexiness to that whole era, too. Like, in your minds, like that 50s and 60s, or, the 50s and just that.
I mean, when you were in the army, they would give you cigarettes as part of your as part of your package, also cigars, and so it was part of the U.S. culture.
When men were men.
Yeah, there you
Men
go.
were men. When the flag meant something.
Yeah.
And I've heard the comparison too. So when you walk in and you say, "Hey, you remember Camacho? That's us," I hear direct comparisons of the Corojo Reserva. So obviously that's like a little bit more beef to that line. But I've heard direct comparisons to, oh my God, this is the Camacho Diploma. Essentially, like that immediate taste memory kicks in, like when you smell something from your childhood and you go, oh my God, this is that flavor.
And that's the great thing about smoking cigars and recreating the history that we had before. Is because we kept all the feels, we kept all the tobacco. So memories, taste, and music is what brings you memories. And taste is one of those important factors that brings you back to memory. So I think that's one of the successes of the line. You start smoking what you had smoked before and say, oh, this is what I liked. And people want to enjoy something. And then I think cigars is part of is part of our lives, is enjoying cigar smoking.
For sure. I mean, that's what brought us together. It's funny because you're running around here and he goes, oh, he's the cowboy guy from the cigar shop. And you sit down and he's like, oh, are you on the show too?
Yep.
You're not wearing the wrong, you're
Well,
wearing the wrong
you
shirt.
stick out more. So,
Yeah, I do.
you're,
Wow.
So,
Yeah, I literally have many hats.
okay.
I just
see
happen
that.
to be the brightest light bulb in this particular drawer. That's all.
I'm
Mine.
enjoying that I'm not translucent, by the way, in this camera this time. Normally, I'm as white as that screen. On camera, it's just like I glow.
Okay.
I glisten, I guess it would be. So it's nice to not have that in this lighting. So I just point that out there. I'm kind of happy for a change.
For sure. Well, I don't want to keep you away from the people that came out here to see you today. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much,
Obviously,
Corey.
I love your
Dan,
products.
great seeing you again. Couldn't
just reach
recognize
through
you
the-
without the cowboy hat. I didn't know that.
Like you said, branding, right? The cowboy hat helps.
Branding hat, yeah. So maybe when you kick off the new store, we'll gladly come up and see you guys.
Everybody's got to have a gimmick.
I'll hold you to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll release you back into the wild, as it were. And we'll get Fred on here in a few minutes whenever he gets a moment to step away from his duties. But for the time being, why don't we go into the news for the week?
Hey.
Good news, everyone.
It's time for the cigar news, brought to you by Tom's Penworks. As a cigar smoker, you appreciate luxury. And as a premium cigar smoker, you appreciate handmade craftsmanship. And as a customer of Tom's Penworks, you'll appreciate the selection of custom-made, limited production items that you can show off to your friends. From handmade pens, pencils, bottle openers, cigar cases, and now custom rings, Tom will create something special for you or your loved one. Find him on the web at etsy.com/shop/Tom's Penworks. And as always, you can find the link in the description for this episode.
I'm so glad that we got your live reaction.
You
to
are
that.
never allowed to do an ad by
Oh,
yourself.
Colby liked it. Come on, what? You don't dig the jam behind there?
There's a lot of problems with that.
I think it's pretty professional. I sat down and went, oh,
I know.
man.
They can't all sound the same.
I understand they can't sound the same, but
Pretty
they
soon
shouldn't start off with,
UPMC, PNC Bank, they'll all be lining up.
but like it started off with like a strong porn background
I missed
to
that.
it. Yeah,
I
and,
missed
and,
that.
and then it's like,
Isn't that kind of RMO?
no.
Well, before I get
Not when
diverted too
talking
far
about
off topic,
pens.
let's actually talk about some things. We got the news brought to you by Tom's Penworks. J.C. Newman relaunches the El Baton. The cigar was first made in 1914. They were originally made with Cuban tobacco and sold for just a nickel. I miss those days. I miss any chance that we go back to the price points.
I got some
Fred?
El Batons here, but
Yeah, not
I
for
might
a nickel.
lose some money at a nickel.
Little bit?
Yeah.
$15, little man. Put that shit in my hand. The cigar was brought back to market in 2008 as a budget stick. The new version will have an Ecuadorian wrapper and Nicaraguan binder and fillers. Alegria by Ilusión has been arriving at retailers. The Nicaraguan puros are rolled at the Aganorsa leaf factory. Stick shares the same Corojo 99 wrapper as the one-off series, but uses higher primings than the rest of the cigar. It'll be available in 5 sizes that come in boxes of 25, so keep your eyes peeled for this new arrival at your local brick and mortar. Scandinavian Tobacco Group will be shipping out the new La Gloria Cubana next month. It was made with the input of more than 2,000 consumers. I think that's really interesting that they reached out and said, hey, help us make a new stick. Called the La Gloria Cubana Society cigar, the new limited edition size came as a result of feedback from smokers who interact with the brand regularly, both online and through La Gloria events across the country. They were pulled on profile, packaging, size of the cigar, and data collection process that lasted almost a year. The cigar is a Honduran puro made at their Dominican factory. And finally, the 10th anniversary year of Oscar Valladera's Tobacco and Company. That's the first time I've actually had to read it in that way.
Yeah.
Is in 22. And the 22 PCA trade show, the company unveiled the Oscar Valladera's 10th anniversary cigar. It features a Mexican San Andreas wrapper over Honduran binder and Nicaraguan filler. The Oscar Valladera's 10th anniversary will be offered in 3 sizes, Toro, a 60, and a Solomon. Each of the sizes will be presented in 10-count boxes. And they describe the annual limited production for this release. So it will continue to come out, but there will be a limited amount of the product. Much of this is due to the fact that the blend utilizes tobaccos that have been aging for 5 years. So I personally can't wait to get my hands on that.
Nice, nice.
So we have the man behind Nelson Laguastos here with us, Fred Findlay. And how did this all come to be? How did you guys end up being the first, if I'm not mistaken, Aladino lounge in the country? Is that accurate?
Yeah. So, always got to start off saying it's not the guy behind Nelson Laguas, is one of the guys behind.
Oh, you're
Nelson
the guy
Laguas.
in front of, you're behind the counter.
I'm behind the counter, a man behind the counter today. Yeah. So just to jump back real quick, the original 2 owners, Pete and Reed, kind of fired this up several years ago. I think actually as early as 2013. I think it's when they officially started selling cigars in Greensburg. So Pete had a restaurant up by the mall. Those familiar with Westmoreland Mall, there was Pepperwood Grill. That was Pete's restaurant. And basically him and Reed became cigar smoking friends, decided, hey, let's put a... So actually the cabinet that's out in the retail section with all the God of Fires and Lost Cities, the Prometheus humor, that was how it started. They had put a cabinet by the bar. Okay. Just started selling cigars at the restaurant. And then Pete sold the restaurant. Reed had his... chiropractic and wellness clinic here in Greensburg.
I heard there was a backcracker involved.
Yeah, so that was pretty much the claim on that was the nation's first. Before we were the first Aladino Lodge, I think they were the first doctor's office with a cigar lounge.
Yes. Yo, I tell you right now, you put one of those tables back here for adjustments. This will be my new primary cigar shop. I will drive an hour to come get some relief from my back pain.
I think there's something to it because really all of our most dedicated loyal customers like go back to that old shop that they would line up like, oh yeah, they'd come down, have a cigar, go get a massage, and then come back and finish up with another post-massage cigar. So there's probably something to that was key. And then we just outgrew that space obviously, and I was driving to Dan's house one night, 2019, late in the year, and drove by, saw for sale on this sign on this building, and it happened real quick. We bought it January 2020, and then like COVID hit, so we were basically doing the whole build out during COVID. Even had to get like special help from the state in terms of like being allowed to do construction. You weren't even supposed to be doing construction during COVID. Yeah. But we had already, before that happened, we had already like busted out the front wall to build the doors. We had a big giant wall or hole, in the building. So that's what got us allowed to keep moving forward. But so just a very special relationship with Justo, and I hope a lot of people in the Pittsburgh area do with the Aladino brand. I mean, I think it's alive and well in the Pittsburgh area. This was
I'm doing my part.
Yeah, that's what I've heard it, and you proved it today. And but yeah, this was one of their first markets. Like when they relaunched the brand, like Pittsburgh kind of like grabbed hold pretty quick. And they make fantastic stuff, but man, the family, like it's a game changer. If any shop owners are listening, like go to the farm. Go to the farm, or if anybody has a chance to go to the farm, go to the farm. That changes everything. You think you're tight with somebody, you think or whatever, but you have like this like incredible deep experience, and it's a game changer. So when we were at this place, it was a no-brainer. We're like, we want to be the first Aladino lounge, and I mean, it did take much, a few conversations to hash out the details, and bingo bongo, we're up and running.
Still waiting for my invitation. I hear that farm is like surgical. I hear that like they're real big on making sure that you don't cross-contaminate anything. Do you have to wear like little booties over your shoes and
You
stuff?
don't have to do well. So with that, and that's all about. Not probably just, I'm sure all the tobacco in the fields in general, but obviously they're Corojo. The only way that this authentic Corojo exists is because of what they do down at the farm. So the main thing is when you roll up to the farm, it's a couple-step process. As soon as you roll up in a vehicle, a guy comes out and sprays down the tires of the vehicle. So the big thing is that the cars aren't introducing stuff
That's
on
so
the
crazy.
tires. Then you get out of the vehicle, and the first thing you do is just walk through a little misting station. So it's almost like this little shower house. You just walk through and get misted. And then the real big thing, because the most susceptible plants are going to be the baby plants.
Yeah.
So when you go in the greenhouse where the little seedlings are starting to grow, instead of the booties, they have these little just plastic bins with like some chemicals that you step in to basically
clean up a
disinfect
little
your
bit.
shoes, so your shoes aren't introducing anything as well. And then of course that's the man-made side of it to protect everything, and then the natural side of it is if you guys watch throughout the day, behind you we had this ticker, and there's ads and different things, but there will be pictures of the farm. And I don't know if there's a picture that shows it, but they have the eucalyptus trees.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard them talk about the eucalyptus trees.
No.
I don't know.
So that's a natural barrier that protects the Corojo plant.
Okay.
That they found, so that around the farms they planted all these eucalyptus trees, and the eucalyptus tree is like a natural barrier to keep
Oh, 'cause it's so effervescent,
the
it keeps
mold and
other
stuff
things-
away as well. So between the eucalyptus trees and then the man-made processes. Yeah.
Wow. That's wild.
It's a lot.
That's some Disney level shit right
Yeah.
there. Like Disney has like certain amounts of plants and swamps and animals to like maintain so the mosquito population's down, and it's all stuff you would know. Same kind of thing. Like you got trees here, and like it's just very engineered.
Yeah, and they're I mean, Justo and his dad, I mean, they're farmers at heart.
Yeah.
They're farmers, and we're just fortunate. They're good business people. They know tobacco. They're incredible farmers, and man, we're fortunate that Julio is one hell of a blender, though.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, 100%.
I think it gets overlooked. Like it's just like this assumption, like somebody's blend, but it's like this dude knows how to blend. He's just coming out with awesome stuff all the time.
Yeah, and it's not like you're just throwing a couple ingredients together and trying it. Like, there's a process to blending that I don't think people realize. Like
I've heard stories how he does it. Trey knows a good bit. But yeah, Julio's got his own. I'm sure they all have their own processes.
This guy come to me with an idea and said, I'm not going to release it in case he ever finds a mad scientist capable of making it. But he said, I'd like to do a cigar that's all this. And I said, I don't know if that's physically possible because you're thinking of the blend and the taste and the flavor, but it has to have combustion.
Yeah.
And so if you use too much of one type of material, it doesn't burn evenly.
Well, do you
and
know
it's
this-
like, I hadn't considered it from that angle. And it's like, it's not even just about taste.
Yeah.
You also have to make it so that it combusts properly.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned in humidor, so I don't know if you already know it, but you mentioned to a customer the difference between the Reserva, Robusto, and Toro. Mm-hmm. Do you know why there's the difference
On the Corojo Reserve?
on the Corojo Reserva?
I
mean,
the
you-
higher primings. I was what I was told on the
Robusto.
On the Robusto.
Okay, so the Robusto was the first one.
Yeah.
100% higher priming Corojo. When we were down there on the trip, we were the guinea pigs that day. They had just rolled the first Toro. So no one had ever smoked it.
Oh, wow.
They're like, "Hey, we got a special treat for you tonight. We're coming. We're going to launch
I
a."
get my invitation?
They're like, "We're going to launch the Corojo Reserva in a Toro."
Oh, wow.
And they're like, "We just rolled the first batch ever today, and we want you guys to smoke and give us some feedback." So without getting into the whole story, but bottom line is, pretty bad experience that first night.
Yeah.
It was the same tobacco, same blend, same roll, just longer.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't combust.
There you go.
So now you're not only talking about so that's why the Toro, they had to tweak the blend slightly. The Toro, you just changed the size and it wouldn't combust.
Just
It was
a little
crazy.
bit.
Yeah. And when I say the cigar was great, it's the same tobacco, but it wouldn't burn. It's unbelievable how these things change combustion too.
For sure, there's so much that goes into it that I don't think the average person considers. And, it really is. That's why it's an art form. You can't just be like, okay, like you're cooking something. and I'm just going to throw a bunch of stuff in here and see if it tastes good. It also has to physically work. So it's a challenge.
So I'm going to kind of change direction a little bit because I got something that I didn't realize until today. So I've talked about like me getting into cigars a couple times on the show, and I said there was a little tiny shop that I stopped at. That was the first shop.
Oh yeah.
Well, the whole reason I'm into cigars was that little one where you walked in and it was like 2 chairs and then a glass wall and a guy standing here.
Yeah.
The way that he treated me when I came in, and actually he was the first guy that, like, because I wanted to get into cigars, but everywhere I went they were like, "Oh, here, try this," and like just walk away.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know that I want to try that? And he was the first one to talk to me.
Yeah.
And actually treat me like, trying to see what I wanted. And
I don't know if it might have been just Reed, because that was Reed's clinic, so he would just hop over there like between patients, and if someone happened to walk in, it was real loose. It wasn't hours or anything like that. Yeah. And for them, like, it was a passion project.
Yeah.
So you were literally just walking into like these 2 guys that were passionate about cigars, like, hey, let's have a humidor. Yeah. All the people that we know that are passionate about cigars will smoke cigars, and when customers come, customers come.
Yeah.
And but it was like
it's a place for us to hang out with our buddies.
Yeah.
Oh, and maybe it'll make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
probably not, but maybe.
But I mean, that's how the best laid plans are, right? Like they start off as just a passion project, and the most successful ones, I guess.
We do get a lot of calls because myself, I mean, everybody that worked, like we're all just cigar guys that ended up, being a part of this or working here and whatnot. So for the most part, the compliments we get from, just it's a place, just a tobacco shop or whatever. It's not just someone at the counter working. I mean, it's all people that are passionate about cigars and want to help you out.
Yeah, it's not somebody ringing you up with like go through the aisles of the supermarket, come back and hand me what you bought. Like, the passion's there, and that really makes the experience better.
We've talked about that, and why some brands don't make it in some shops is because you have brand recognition with some things, but you might have something new that's coming out that blows that stuff away. But unless you're putting your customers on it and telling them about it and saying, hey, you like this, try that, and giving a little bit of background information about it, they don't know. So they go with what they know.
The
and
West
what
Tampa
works.
right now is exactly what's going on. Like, that's the latest one that we just brought. Am I allowed to mention that?
Yeah. Oh, you're good,
Oh, okay.
bro.
Yeah.
I'm smiling because I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, it's afternoon. Sam's like, where's the booze?
It may or
getting
may
ready.
not be how things go in my mind.
Yeah, we just brought that West Tampa tobacco in, and it's just like, it's new, it's good, there's a story behind it, and it's just exciting to tell the customer, like, hey, try it, hope you like it, but you should try it. It's cool. It's a good story, and it's new, and you might.
No, talk about anything you want. So, like,
We're very freeform.
Yeah, and not only that, but like this feels a little Aladino centric. But we are the Cigar Junkies. This is not Aladino Day. It's an Aladino event that we wanted to be here for and participate in. But I mean, anything that you've got that's interesting that you want to talk about, you guys are getting ready to open a second location, isn't that right? You
That's
guys are
right.
under construction right now, so
Yep.
maybe you can help our boy Sam through some of those growing pains of understanding.
Lots of learning.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Just a tip, correct?
That's it.
Yeah. So that'll be. We are. I mean, this is a beast. It's a beast in terms of like a lounge. Like having a shop and a lounge and keeping the lounge clean, and like always a lot of people and cleaning and dumping ashtrays and this and that, and late nights, trying to get out and things like that. So we wanted to grow and expand. But we just, like, at least me personally, but I think we're all kind of on the same page. It's just like, hey, the next evolution of growing, let's see if we can do like a retail shop. So the next one won't have a lounge. Because it's just like to double that, take a beast and do 2 beasts is a bit much for just staffing.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not that. Like, I'm sure every business on the planet right now is like there's only so many. Yeah, exactly. So, we're gonna stretch ourselves a little bit and give that a try. That Norwin's the area I grew up in, but it's gonna be a nice walk-in humidor. So the space that we have is gonna be really dedicated to the humidor. So it'll be a lot bigger than this one even.
Okay.
And so we're looking forward to it. So
that's the lesson learned: is bigger's better.
On the humidor, well,
You want room to grow.
Well, you always want to grow. That's the one thing with the humidor. It's like, no matter, like, you're always going to fill it up unless you had a bigger humidor. But it's like, okay, you only have so much square footage to work with. Like, do you dedicate it to a lounge? So I mean, you'll do the right thing. I mean, I've already seen you do the walk. You already have a plan. I've seen you do the walkthrough videos.
He's burned through plans.
Yeah,
really?
600 to 800 plans that have all come and gone. But
Yeah.
I like where we're at. We got actual drawings out. Actually,
Yeah.
I just got an email telling me that my drawings were finally done.
Yeah.
So actually ready to.
The only
get
thing
a
I would say, just like we have the island here, I mean, maximize your humidor,
Yeah.
regardless of how big you make it, but figure out how you can maximize it. Because like I was at a shop in Tennessee, Trey told me to stop at. It's huge. It was the humidor was like almost as big as this lounge,
Wow.
but just shells on the
outside
walls. It's like, do you realize how much room for activities?
Right, there's so
So
much
much
room
for
for
activity.
There's so much
Are
room
you
for
two
activities.
brothers?
Yeah.
No. Yes. Man, works every time.
No, so like my layout's going to be, you got them on the outside walls. Mm-hmm. And then when you walk in, there'll be 4 shelves straight in front of you. So it'll be 3 aisles.
Yeah.
And then,
Perfect.
so you'll have, this way
Yeah.
and this way on those sets of shelves. And then we're doing, I have it designed where there's 2 iterations of the humidor. So like you'll walk in, it'll be 13 feet deep. And then after, I build more stock and inventory, then I'll knock out that back wall and it'll eventually be 24 feet deep. So it'll be actual aisles worth of cigars to walk down.
The only thing I would, if we had, the tough thing is you only learn as you go. If we had to start all over, we would have done, because we just put an exhaust fan in, but that messes, that throws all your AC out. And it's just going to suck in humid air and this and that. Like if I was starting all over with the lounge, probably would have done a separate separate units for like one just for the lounge where all the smoke is taking place, and one for like the other part or whatever, or so that you can run exhaust, put fans, make sure enough air movement in addition to the smoke. Like there's a learning curve on that, but I'm sure you'll knock
that's
it out of the park.
Definitely one of the things I'm going round and round about. Like, okay, how many smoke eaters? Is it going to take to do the same thing that my, because I have a 22,000 CFM fan that came with the unit, and I'm like, well, that's all the air in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's awesome. But I'm like, that thing's going to be loud. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to suck all the heat or cold out of the room. Like, what do I do? So, no, exactly that. It's a lot of, and I know I'm going to get it wrong. That's the best part. Is like, I know
we
I'm
don't
gonna
have
get it wrong.
anything fired up right now because of the pot, but I'll show you what we got later.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what what the good and the bad.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Any help is always appreciated.
Secrets for Sam. Sam loves secrets.
Oh,
So
yeah.
any
Lots
secrets you
and
can
lots
give
of
him,
secrets.
he's all about them.
Secret Santa.
Secret
Pretty much.
sausage.
Yeah,
So
sneaky.
back to the cigar for just a quick second. So I wanted to go with the Corona this time, and I don't know what your thoughts were on it. I've transitioned back over to the vintage selection just because I burned through it fast because I sucked it down. But the Toro, definitely a milder presentation, right? It's way more accessible for everybody. But that Corona's got a little bit of sharpness to it. Like
Which cigar are we talking about?
I was smoking the Corona Classic.
Oh, yeah.
So now jumping over to the bigger gauge on the vintage selection, still not a big cigar, obviously shorter, but I was surprised by how much it wasn't popping quite as much. There's a sharpness to that Corona. So it just goes to show you, try different sizes within every line.
Oh, absolutely.
And especially with Aladino, I think that they happen to have different sizes that present differently. So I generally have a favorite in every size, every line.
It's interesting because like there are some brands that I don't find much difference between. I can smoke a Robusto and a Toro in different sizes, and they're pretty uniform. Which if that's the goal, that's a well achieved
Good,
goal.
right.
Then you hear a guy like Steve Taka specifically say like, "Oh, I actually blend each one different." I don't know if you ever heard him say that, but like, I want my Robusto to be stronger. I want this Lonsdale to be stronger. So he purposely tweaks per size to actually have different experiences. So there's that. And I don't know what, I can't say specifically what Aladino does, but it is a brand where you do get a different experience per size, which I love. Because I'll go down like the whole original, and I'm like, Palmas is my cigar. Like the original Corojo, Palmas is my absolute
you said
favorite.
Lonsdale. I love the Lonsdale and the Cameroon.
So same thing.
Right?
Yeah.
100%. It's that one. For me, the vintage selection, obviously I do the Rothschild. That has to do with the extra wrapper on it, clearly. But yeah, you go through every one, and it's like, it's also nice to be able to go, okay, this is primarily the same ingredients, but like, let's see the different tweaks within it. So if you're, terrible with your palate like I am, I don't get tasting notes, I don't get flavors, generally speaking, but it's like nice to go like, oh, this one's got a little subtle difference here, or this pops out more there.
Yeah. And I wonder if it's just the quality, I wonder if that speaks specifically to the quality of their wrapper leaf. Because as you're changing sizes, like you're obviously getting more or less of the wrapper as part of that makeup, and the fact that there is that variation, I guess it really speaks to the quality of their wrapper.
Yeah, I was talking to Paul Palmer from Maganorsa, and he said like they blend it to make them taste the same. Like they spend a lot of time and effort to make a Lancero tastes the same as a Gordo. And he's like, sometimes it's terrible to do. Sometimes we don't come out with certain sizes we want because it won't taste the same. And then, like you said, other guys want to go with the different extremes. So I had the Toro, and it was meh. Which again, they're just not my cigars. I mean, I have never had one that wasn't built perfect. It's not my taste profile. I will say that Corona surpassed the vintage selection as my favorite Aladino because I really enjoyed.
He didn't even want to go to the classic
that's
today
like
because he's like, man, I kind of did a bunch of those already. They were okay, but they weren't anything. I want to do something where I might find something that I'm gonna like better and have something to say about it. So just that change of size on the same line is a perfect representation.
It's because that thing has like a really sharp edge on it, and then immediately has something that like kind of dulls it. So like you get a real sharp hit, and then it dulls itself real quick, and it's really unique to me.
My wheelhouse is can I retrohell it and not like sting my nose? Like I like the retrohell, so that's just like I like tons of flavor, medium strength, and can I retrohell the crap out of a cigar and like not screw up my nose doing it? And like that's what brings me to Aladino because that's all their cigars.
I got to take a time out here for a second. I saw you playing with alcohol. We brought attention to
waiting
it.
for him to talk.
Well, we can move on to Chris if you guys.
I just want to know where mine is. I want to know because here's the thing: is my favorite retrohale
I'm the one
is
with the
when I
problem.
get Sam to retrohale his whiskey.
Okay.
I like to wait till he's taking a sip
All over this
and then
beautiful
catch him
setup here.
off guard.
I always get it to the side, so that's good.
He usually keeps it in. It's just in his nasal cavity.
It's not great.
And the reaction is his facial expressions.
Yeah,
during
if you
that are
want to
great,
get Chris
so.
over here and jump into that, and I'll pour the
I was
pour
gonna
you
say,
guys shots here.
you-
while
we
you're-
We got
just sit
another
down.
mic.
Yeah.
Is this
Oh,
our boy?
okay.
Yeah, just grab the headphones and
You got the bottle? Okay, you got the bottle.
like I
was
told the
prepared.
boys before, this is the first date, so you don't have to deep throat that microphone, but
But
make
you do
sure
have
you
to-
position it where it is close enough.
Yeah, it's Chris, a little taller guy. Got the high chair. This is awkward.
Do you want to switch me seats, bud? You are.
It'll come up, right? Right?
Yeah,
yeah.
well, whether it'll stay up or not.
Oh, jeez. We're going. Yep, that's.
That's what she said.
There you go. See what you can do. There he goes. It's hanging out there. So
There
go ahead
it
and
is.
get your headphones on there. Then I'll bring your mic up. All right. So why don't you introduce yourself to us? You got to flip your one earphone over. It's outside.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you got inside out on that one. It's okay. Some people haven't
There it
any.
is.
Yeah, first time. Not really, but
No pressure, man. It's
So happy I could be here for your first.
we're all about breaking them cherries.
hey, I have plenty of years on a microphone as a musician, but I only did one other podcast, and that was with Fred. We were talking
There's only like
Oh,
3
yeah.
people listening to this show, so
Whiskey,
you're
so
okay.
The whiskey podcast.
You'd be surprised who's listening.
Yes.
The guy that was listening to our podcast prior to this, he was in the middle of like the Baltic Sea on a ship.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've had that one yet. We've had some pop up in crazy places, but he's got family members in different countries.
Yeah.
So every once in a while we'll get less than 1% in Taiwan. I'm like, who the hell's in Taiwan?
I got my in-laws. He's like, wait, what? Yeah, my sister-in-law and her family.
So yeah, do us a favor. Tell us about the beverage because I'd like to try some.
Well, yeah, my name's Chris Batten, and you know, I've been involved in the distilled spirits industry for the last 12 years, on and off, beverage business since I was in my teens, working for Pepsi Cola, 7-Up, Canada Dry. Ventured in the distilled business, distilled spirits business, probably back about 12 years ago when I really, you know, it kind of morphed into, you know, from starting with cigars, you know, you're always wanting to, you know, tobacco and cigars, you know, just go together hand in hand. And that's what kind of grew my passion for distilled spirits, finding the perfect, you know, distilled spirit for that specific cigar that you were smoking.
Hell yeah. So I like the fact that it's tobacco driven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, and that, you know, leads me to the next thing where, you know, based on, you know, hobbies and knowing a lot of distillers in the area, you know, I figured, you know, why not take some raw distillate and see what you can do with it, you know, with tobacco. I mean, has it ever been done? Yeah, I mean, there's other, you know, tobacco, you know, I guess related products out there that are marketed towards tobacco smokers. I think there's a cigar scotch that Dalmore does.
Oh yeah, I love that
The
sound.
cigar
Yeah.
malt. That's
Yeah,
it's on my
cigar
bucket
malt,
list.
but it's not.
Oh, it's good.
There's no tobacco. in
It's
it.
just made for.
Right.
It's just made for marketed to cigar smokers. So So yeah, I mean, you start off with a raw distillate, and I figured, the sweetness of corn, coupled with the maltiness of barley, the malted barley, a little bit of wheat, a little bit of rye. You can get an unaged whiskey in the liquor store for relatively cheap, because unaged spirits are cheaper than the barrel product because of time. You can start by something like that, or you can go to your local distillery and pick up any unaged distillate. So you take that distillate and then you immerse the distillate with the crushed JRE tobacco, which in specific, as per Fred's request, was the Aladino Cameroon.
Yeah.
Which is a sweeter,
yes.
tobacco.
And I tell you what, I noticed a difference from last year's version. The sweetness on the back end, it definitely made a difference. A little bit smoother.
What did you do? Was it a Habana vintage last year? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so last year did the Habana vintage, and it's funny that a different cigar changed this whole thing. It's awesome.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Different ingredient, man.
Yeah,
like
it was
you think, oh, it's all tobacco. No, man. There's so much.
Yeah, it was amazing.
variation.
And letting that sit, immersed in the distillate for a couple months, really did the trick. And not only did it add color to the product, it added that extra tobacco taste on the back end. You would think by immersing tobacco, especially cigar tobacco, in a distilled product, that it would just overrun the entire thing.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
So, so this is fairly young, right? So, I mean,
It spends months
Months.
in a small barrel, and then finished with Jack Daniel's staves, a little Hungarian oak, and charred American oak.
I'm gonna say for as young as it is, it doesn't smell it. Like you get a lot of vanilla notes off it, but it has like a. I know this is not in there, so bear with me for a second. But that Cameroon gives it an almost agave kind of smell to it, like that sweet, sweet natural plant smell. I definitely get.
Now, I'll give you bonus points if you can figure out the secret ingredient in there. You probably
Because you're not gonna guess.
You're not gonna guess.
I'm not
but
that
He did this to
advanced.
me, and I was like, and then he told me, I was like, okay,
Nutmeg.
not in a million years.
Not a million years.
Nutmeg.
Well, no,
Hold on, I'm not there yet.
close. There are some notes of that in there on the back end, and that is because of the, believe it or not, the Angel's Envy port barrel extract that it was blended with at the very end.
I couldn't tell you what nutmeg tastes like. I just know it's one of those things, and it's like people are like, "Oh, what's in this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's nutmeg."
I was on my way to Nashville for the second or third time, going to see some business acquaintances down there, and I saw the Angel's Envy sign, the billboard, and I'm like,
Love
off the
Angel's
highway,
Envy.
and stopped in there and got some of their port barrel extract.
Yeah, it's as delicious as it smells. It's really smooth up front. You don't get the bite until the very end, which is really cool.
And it's not too aggressive, but it is very, like, it feels like full mouth engagement, right?
Yeah.
Like full palate engagement. Like I can feel the whole way, not a burn, just the activation of your taste buds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot going on. I don't have the palate to pick up and be like, oh, it's this.
I haven't actually had the chance to just relax because we've been so busy. We got this. We've been so busy yesterday and today, so I haven't had a chance to pour a little glass and have an Aladino Cameroon or Aladino Cameroon with it.
compare it.
But I mean, can there be a better pairing? We talk about pairings. Well, how about smoking a cigar that's in the drink that you're drinking?
actually part of it.
Is there a better pairing?
When does that happen?
For real. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, if Chris has plenty of bottles, well, he's got some bottles. These are going to go quick. But if you come down the event today, Chris has bottles of this Aladino Cameroon-made bourbon here that you can buy directly from him today.
Yeah,
And you
sits at
guys
90
are
proof.
raffling one
Yeah,
off.
we're
as
raffling.
Well,
We got
right?
a killer raffle. If you've ever seen the Cuban-style display box of the Aladinos, we got one of those that Justo autographs. Got 7 different size cigars, 5 each. There's 35 cigars. So somebody will win that display box, 35 Aladino Corojos, and a bottle of Chris's masterpiece here.
If it ain't me, it's rigged.
No,
That's all I'm gonna say.
Not
I
one
bought
of
50 cigars as soon as I walked in
If
the
it
door.
is, if you win, because you did buy 50 cigars, if you end up winning, I want to see a podcast of you guys enjoying that thing and the bourbon.
Oh, for sure. Although, in all fairness, it's 35 cigars. I'd get a week out of that.
Yeah.
that's no time at all.
No, nothing. I'm going through 2 of these.
Yeah, he
I
flies
get,
through 'em.
I get 3 of those vintage selection boxes every 2 months.
Jesus, jeez.
So
Jeez.
I'm smoking about 75 of those a month.
Holy
They
crap.
need to make
Yeah.
they need to make a classic box, a classic Corona box for you.
What I need is I need them to make this in a Toro
Mm-hmm.
with the other wrapper, with the double wrapper, because this is my jam. This is the one.
Mm-hmm.
But I go through them quick, and I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, well, I mean, I could have another one, right? Like, I got more time. I don't have to go to bed yet. Like, I just
We have
grab
a
another one.
quote up here on the ticker behind you. Life is short. I'll have another cigar.
Hell yeah, dude. I probably smoked somewhere between 8 and 10 of these in one day. You know, if I'm up at camp and I could smoke a cigar with everything that I'm doing without getting too much grief from my wife, I guarantee you I could burn through.
Well,
10
that's
of these
part
in
if
a
you
day.
do go to Honduras someday. If you go to the farm, that's part of the thing. Is like the probably like an unofficial challenge. Who can the record of who smokes the most cigars? Because I think Reed did like 17 the one day. Because they just have cigars nonstop. Like Julio, you're in. That's the thing about the beauty of it. You're in Julio's house.
Yeah.
And he sets up this cigar bar, and there's just cigars like the whole, like just always. There's always cigars. And you just grab, and smoke. Then you go, oh, let's go to the farm and smoke cigars while we're at the farm. And then oh, hey, we're testing out this new blend at the factory. Here, just smoke a cigar. and it's like, it's pretty unbelievable. But it's just like, so
Sounds like
17 is the known record. So you got a
Jesus.
challenge.
You have to have
But
iron
it
lungs.
sounds like you're up for it.
Sounds like a wet dream, man. I'm like,
It sounds like
someday.
PCA is what it sounds
someday,
like.
something to
You're just
stay.
like,
Sounds like a hospital trip. To
No,
me.
yeah, except for these are all going to be cigars that I like.
Yeah, but
And I'm not going to be in somewhere with zero humidity.
Oh,
and
no,
a
even
thousand
better.
people.
You're swimming in Julio's pool.
Oh man.
Like overlooking that he's up on the top of a hill
God.
that
Okay,
overlooks
stop.
the valley, and then there's the mountains of Nicaragua,
Stop
and you're
it.
just like in the
No,
pool, and it's all yellow, and there's the big Aladino. There's a picture of the pool, but if you've never seen it, it's a yellow pool. The house is yellow. There's a veranda, and and they have the big Aladino logo on the veranda, and you're just floating in the pool, smoking a cigar, looking down at the fields. It's like it's
That sounds like paradise to me.
A lot of pretty girls in that Eiroa family too. That's how you know there's money, because I see the Facebook profile,
comment.
and there's just Justo in there, and all of these like supermodel women, and you're like, what? Where's that
family.
coming from? Exactly, for
Beautiful
sure.
family.
I mean that in the best way possible. I'm not trying to cross any lines or
Then
anything.
you have Justo, which is he was a male model before. He was.
It was the face of Campbell's
That,
soup.
that's what.
the only thing I ever modeled for was birth control.
Well, your triplets help with that too.
Stock went up.
When I was a kid, they just put my face on a billboard and be like, you need a condom, right? That was it. That's all it took. Condom sales doubled.
This conversation topic went south.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think.
very-
Welcome to the
that's-
junkies.
Yeah, that's what I've learned.
That's our charm. That's our MO.
Yeah.
That's how
our
we
goal
do
is to
things.
get you to turn as red as you turned
Yeah,
whenever
yeah,
you did
yeah.
that.
Jeez.
You want him to stop. He's given me something to stay alive for.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
much more
one day, everything will align. I'll get a passport and a plane ticket, and I'll be hanging out in Justo's pool.
Well, you know what? When your shop's up and running, you can go. So just
no,
take 'em.
or you could just send
Oh, no,
me.
I'm not going to take him.
I could be.
you and I
send me.
You and I are going to go, and we're going to brag
If
about it to
get
him.
on payroll, get him on doing one shift. He's technically an
And he's
employee,
employed.
and now you just take him.
That might already be in the
Yeah,
plan. Actually,
so-
I'll probably. He's not going to hire anybody for the first year
When-
because he knows he's not going to make any money.
He's just gonna
So
be
you
free
know what's
labor
gonna
over
happen.
here.
Hey Corey,
I need you filling a shift.
What are you doing right now?
When are you opening?
like? Yeah, that he
Let's
was
see.
shooting for
Originally, it was supposed to be this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just everything just didn't work. Which
That's the way.
I mean,
but this year,
contractors.
But, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be this year. It'll be. I was hoping to have it open by the end of this month, just for the weather.
Yeah.
Because we have a giant parking lot. I'm
Yeah.
talking like
Well, that's the
4
big
times
thing,
the
yeah.
size of like this and that building's
Yeah.
parking lot in
That's
front of
and
it.
his foot
That's huge,
traffic
yeah.
is like insane
Yeah.
because he's got a beer distributor next
Yeah.
door. And then, like
Parking's
2 more
everything.
doors down, he has a liquor store.
Yeah.
And then on the other end, there's a bar.
I
Yeah.
missed this. What kind of shop is it?
Cigar shop.
Oh, nice.
Just the tip cigars.
Where at?
South Park.
Yeah.
So, and I'm right there on the main
lot of
drag
money in
across
South
from
Park. So
Yeah, it's perfect location.
Go to the farm.
He's like, you need to go.
Yeah, it just
You bring your own
Yeah.
sticks. I'll smoke the JREs
That's
for
like
you.
talking to my wife, and I'm like, I got invited to the Rojas factory opening. She's like, oh, that would have been nice to go to, and I'm like, wait, no, like I want to go, and she's like, yeah,
Screw you.
no, and I'm like, yeah,
As
I
an
know. It's
esteemed
just-
representative of both the Cigar Junkies and Just the Tip, my services are available to you.
get down there, see Julio doing in person, doing his thing.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta. He's getting
What
up there.
worries me,
Just- yeah,
that's
it's-
what worries me. See, what I want to know is there's a book somewhere, right?
Mhm.
Like
I
the
know, that's-
Indiana Jones Journal.
Yeah.
There's something somewhere so the next generation
Wasn't
can
it
figure it
Toronto
out.
had
I
the
hope.
vault. They did that vault or the vault series cigars where it was like the dad or whatever before he passed away had all those like supposed recipes in a book, and then like after he passed, they were making all the recipes. You remember that? I think it was Quran or something.
I remember,
but I was like, yeah, I hope Julio's got a book.
I believe that about 5% of that story. It was like 95% marketing. But that being said, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Seth Jones is volunteering to represent you at Rojas.
Yeah,
I called it. Only one bald guy at a time in the queue, buddy.
Well, the one thing that technically what they have is all those years of Camacho. Like everything that Camacho ever made or experimented with, and then they have all this new. I mean, they'll never run out of stuff to work with.
I just want to make sure that the next generation knows how to keep doing it. That's all.
That's why the son Justo, like I said, farmer at heart.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but blender. That's what I'm worried about.
Yep.
We gotta back things up. I hope he's got a few apprentices.
Yeah, I've heard stories. There's somebody.
Somebody.
Trey always talks about somebody down there that.
We're going to listen to Trey.
Yeah. So
I like it.
That guy does podcasts from the pooper. I ain't taking his word for nothing. So that's when I wanted to ask you. You guys did that YouTube live together.
Yeah.
Were you guys like sitting in stalls next to each other? Were you like holding hands under the divider?
I was here. He was in Kentucky at home. Yeah. So I'd been begging him to do that all year. I said, hey, before the event, I want to do some kind of cool live thing, and then. Yeah, he went and got the software the night before. So like midnight the night before, he's like, "Oh yeah, can we try to demo this?" And it wasn't working. I was like, "Okay, this is gonna work really well tomorrow." But no, it was a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the story of why we're talking about Trey on the pot?
No.
Go ahead.
So it was last week, right?
Yeah.
Last week we're talking about the event. Me and Trey. He finally texted me back he tried to call me while we were on the show. And I'm like, he should know. Like, we do it at the same time every week.
Gotcha.
Like, come on, man, you should know. And I'm like, you know what? I ignored the call, and I was like, wait, screw that. I put him on Bluetooth, and I went through the board and called him back.
Yeah.
And he sounded a little awkward. Like,
So
I was like,
he
hey, man,
probably
you're
was
on
on
the
it.
show.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. And we're like, why, what's up? He's like, well, I'm on the shitter.
So we got that on record now. Yeah.
Is he here? He'll deny it.
Oh, he's here, and he didn't.
Yeah.
No,
It's like he denied wrecking his car, getting a flat tire, whatever he did to his vehicle.
Gosh, yeah.
He's thinking of changing the name of his podcast to Battle Shits. Not another teen movie, just him and the other guy sitting next to each other going round for round. You know what I mean?
Battle Shits podcast.
That's it.
Jeez.
There you go.
Yeah, we got him on record though. Like, it's recorded. He definitely said it. So he acknowledged it was him. We made him aware he was being recorded, and he said it. So there's no deniability.
I think I was not another teen movie. It's like, oh no, you sunk my battle shit.
I didn't see that one.
No, he did not understand the reference. Can't push my button. I'm having a lot of fun with my new toy here, but you can't get it every time. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna bring it back to the whiskey for a minute. That youth that I said I didn't smell at all, you could taste it a little bit.
The what?
The youth.
Oh, yeah.
But you can only taste it a little bit, which is, for as young as it is,
It
crazy.
doesn't have like the viscosity that you would normally see in an aged bourbon that's sitting in a 55-gallon barrel for 5-6 plus years. I mean, it's really hard to mimic that, but with small barrels and oaking, after the barreling process, you can kind of get about halfway there, with some good taste.
I've always appreciated every time he's ever experimented with something like. I actually kind of like. I love the young clear. Like, he'll make clear stuff or whatever, and I was just like, oh, it's like drinking a sugar drink. It's so good.
Yeah.
He does really well at what he does. But like, whether something's young or old, man, if it's good, it's good. And you can taste the youth, but it's still got that sweetness from the mash. Still hasn't been barreled over.
Yeah, the thing with young whiskeys is you taste more of the grain bill.
Yeah.
And less obviously of the barrel. Like, and that's what some people do like about that. They love the fact that it tastes like, it's akin to like fresh baked bread that wasn't in the oven too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like my baked products underbaked, for sure.
Doughy and soft.
Yeah, underbaked cookies.
I don't even know why they bake them. I don't understand it. It's like, why you had a perfect product here. Stop now. Yeah. That's like my feelings on the waffle. I feel like we as a society gave up too soon on the waffle. We found the perfect platform for a food delivery system with the waffle shape. It holds the butter, it holds the syrup, and we stopped at breakfast. Why?
And you could probably drink bourbon out of it too. All those little nooks and crannies.
It's the most perfectly engineered food item ever.
I know.
So why
Justo
aren't
had
we utilizing
waffles and what is it? Chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles
Yeah,
with
Justo
gravy.
just did chicken and waffles for the first
But
time. You
here's
can ask
my
him
thing.
about that.
Why are hamburger buns not made in that shape to retain the
Oh,
condiments?
you could put like a little
The
ketchup,
burger.
a little mayo, a little relish.
I'm gonna try
I've done
taking
it.
ground meat and putting it in
Yes.
a waffle.
Yeah.
iron.
A savory
Yeah.
waffle.
So the
A1 sauce
yeah,
in this
so
box.
the cheese will hold in all the little squares. We gave up too
All right,
soon.
guys, I'll be back. I'm going to give you
Yeah.
that right now.
I'm gonna up it real quick. So I made those burgers. So my kids have a Baby Yoda waffle maker.
Oh, man.
it's about yay big. So I was just like, you know what? Let's see what happens. Threw some ground meat in there. I will say, 90% lean was not enough. The 97s came out better because it was a mess, but it was perfect.
Was that based on our? Did I talk to you about this before? Because I know there was one day it was ask me about waffles and we just forgot it and
I don't
lost it
think
on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did that a while ago too. So,
Okay.
yeah. I love playing with stuff like that though. Like make the little Baby Yoda waffle and wrap or waffle burger and then wrap the outside of it in bacon.
There you go.
Oh, my.
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking, like, is the most perfectly engineered food item ever, and we just left it with one thing.
How about a
There's-
bacon? How about a cigar wrapped in bacon?
Okay.
I'd
I
smoke
mean,
it.
that's the best of both worlds, don't you think?
I mean,
yeah.
we get through the combustion issue of it. I'm for it.
We could call it the Porkinator.
And and if the bacon is done just right, you could actually smoke the bacon along with the wrap. It would burn consistently.
There you go. They all go. They always
talking
got the
about
piggies
bacon,
of the hill.
Bacon,
There you
bacon,
go.
bacon, 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 bacon.
You don't make friends with salad. You don't make friends with salad.
He's like, oh my god, I let these people in my shop. Mistakes were made.
Never
For
closed
sure.
a business deal over salad.
He's like, I should have listened. I should have listened to one episode before I invited these guys in. One episode I should have checked out just to make sure.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, then it's on you.
Yeah.
Because you knew what you were getting. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, there's got to be 100 applications, but we stopped at let's put a pancake in this shape.
Right.
Like there's so many other possibilities there.
not the burger thing. I'm
We
thinking
gave
of
up.
all the different things you could put
Dude,
in there.
Right?
Yeah,
You could do ketchup, mustard,
yeah.
ketchup, mustard. You know what I mean? You
Oh,
get
no, I do
even
it.
distribution.
I did
Not-
mayo, ketchup, mustard, relish, pickle. Like, oh,
I think it'd be
No.
better if you did like one of the waffle makers with like the little squares.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could just like line it. Like the ones with like the big monster squares. Like I don't want that much ketchup.
I don't want ketchup at all on a burger, to be honest with you.
I'm actually anti-ketchup in general. But
Yeah, so am I.
I'm
I
a-
have two kids.
I'm a mustard mayonnaise guy though.
Yep.
I have two kids, and right from the get-go, I said, okay, I need to find some type of wisdom to pass along to them to ingrain in them. So the two things that I taught them: never trust a fart, very important. Never trust a fart. And number two, you never put down a sandwich. And they said, why? You scared that somebody's going to eat your sandwich? No, it's structural integrity. Once you take a bite of a sandwich and you put it down, you pick it back up, half the sandwich is on your plate. I never put down a sandwich because I'm going to maintain my structural integrity. Now, we go to a waffle bun, that changes the whole game. You've got the friction built into the pocket.
Jesus,
right?
we're still going on this.
He's reverse engineering the waffle
surface.
sandwich.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, there's limitless reasons that this should be tried.
But what if you make the bun and the burger and it literally like hooks
That's-
together?
I know.
Now,
That's what I'm-
we're hook and loop,
Yeah.
little Velcro.
Yeah.
Now, would the patty have to be round or can it be square like a Wendy's patty? Because obviously you want it to fit the waffle.
I mean, I don't know. Let's ask Patty.
I gotta. I've been trying to stay out of the chat room. I gotta give a shout out to
Dead
Colby.
ends.
Colby says, "Love is like a fart. If you have to force it, it's probably shit."
Thank you for that, Colby.
Colby.
Aren't you supposed to be working right now?
Oh man, yeah, gotta love her. Yeah, she's awesome. Awesome addition to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Junkies team for sure.
Yeah, a lot of
100%.
fun.
Hang out with her tonight. It's gonna be a good time. But yeah, I don't know. Those are just the things that I pontificate on.
Yeah, I'll be thinking about this all day, I think.
Yeah, I feel like. Yeah,
I
we're
might
gonna
shut
have
the
a lot of
event
fun
down
with
to
this.
the guys. I got a lot on my
It's
mind.
it.
I feel
I'm
like
going
we've
home.
finally accomplished something productive on this show. Let's introduce the world back to the waffle.
No,
Let the waffle steal your heart again.
I feel like you're calling distractions production.
Well, you know.
Like you're distracting from actual possibilities with this.
Hey, Fred, did you get a new tent outside, by the way?
Yeah.
Did you? You're still depressed from last night. The storm destroyed his tent.
Well, I destroyed one of our
It looked like
customers'
a-
tent, and I got to
It
buy him
had
a
so
new
much,
tent.
so much water, and it looked like a soup bowl.
He wanted to put
And
us
he's
out
like,
there.
so I was like, oh, I'm looking on Amazon, like, yeah, $130 for a new tent. He's like, oh, that was a special tent. It's like 4 times as much as a regular tent. He's like,
Yeah,
are you
sure.
kidding me?
So you told me our options were to sit up outside or inside, and I'm like, well, weather permitting, I guess would be okay, but it's a lot of money to risk sitting it all outside.
Yeah.
He's like, well, my concern is that the lounge might be pretty busy, and I don't want it to encroach on you or take away space. And I got to tell you, Fred, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
It's probably our fault.
feel-
We're repellent.
Well, we had the live
feel
music
like
at 3,
soon.
so I'm wondering if everybody's just waiting for the live entertainment closer to the end.
It got busy last year, like in the afternoon. It was like around 2-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really started. There was probably 100 people here.
No, but honestly, like I generally on Saturdays I don't do anything until the evening, like the late afternoon, evening. 'Cause
Well,
I'm
with
hanging out with
the
kids and stuff
reason I
like
did
that.
this early is with them asking them to be here last night. I didn't want to take up like still a day.
Yeah.
Or if they needed to get on the road or go somewhere, so it's like, if I had asked them to come and do more of an evening thing today, I basically wasted I took 2 days away from them. So I was like, we'll do it early Saturday so that it's like Friday night, early Saturday, and then you guys still have your evening to do.
Well, fortunately for you guys, we bring Chichingo and Peppa Patty with us everywhere we go, and they spend what 10 customers normally do. So we
Well,
make up with
they
it.
haven't bought any bourbon yet, so
Oh,
I
don't
have-
You know what you need to do? You need to change the shape
that
of the
was easy.
bottle. They have a particular
Yeah.
bottle shape they look for.
Patty, can you pull up the Just the Tipsy picture for me? Can you pull up the Just
She
the
might-
Tipsy picture?
The picture? She might have the bottle in her bag.
Probably. It's in the car somewhere.
It's very akin to the silly sausage.
It's-
If you've seen the silly sausage, you pretty much know what you're looking for.
No. So we named the shop Just the Tip, and then all of a sudden she finds what you're about to see, and she's like, "Okay, you're gonna have to carry this wine in your shop." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "Yeah, it's called Just the Tipsy." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, no problem. I'll keep Just the Tipsy in the shop." And then she shows me the bottle, and
that's just pornographic. Let me tell you.
she bought it like it's a real.
I'm going to
thing.
get one of those. My wife, she's lonely in the evening sometimes.
Here's what I want to know:
Bro,
why
she-
is it on Chichingo's nightstand?
Right.
Why there?
Okay.
I didn't know there was a thank you gift.
That
What
would
is
take a
that?
hell of a woman to use that.
You'll be a woman.
This is 2022. It doesn't have to be a woman.
Right. It could be a
Yeah.
It could be a guy.
I think he
who
likes to fill it up
self-identifies
with,
as a woman. I mean,
fill it with warm water. You got a party. You know?
or gin.
Well, I mean, you're looking at a possibility of some
Gin's
you
good.
know,
So Fred,
if
how
it
are you, bud?
spills.
Let them finish that.
It's a
conversation.
botanical. Listen, it's made out of botanicals.
Yeah.
It's all natural.
It's beautiful. It's just such a lovely thing. It makes me happy in my heart space and some other ones too.
Yeah.
I like the biggest bottle of wine I can get. It makes me feel good.
So here's what I want to know: is it what's the word? Kosher, right? That's the softest way I can think to say it because I haven't paid attention to the details. Is it kosher
Are
or is
cigars
it,
kosher? That's what.
No. The bottle. The bottle. Is it
Ooh.
kosher or does it have a hood?
Not sure.
There it is. It took him a minute.
I was-
He was this close to
Twist
taking the
cap.
sip.
Twist
On-
cap.
on the
Just twist
glass.
it off.
Hey, Fred, you might want to start drinking.
Yeah,
It's
you.
always a good idea.
Yeah, there's some mistakes being made on your part. You are not imbibing in the deliciousness.
I gotta pace myself. These are long days.
Whoa. So one of the comments that we just got was, so now I'm waiting on the, Colby said, she's waiting on the Sex Sent Me to the ER episode that has a bottle stuck up somewhere. And she sent that just in time for your wife to join. So
Oh yeah,
that
I
was
see
nice.
that.
It's
I
good
see that she
timing.
just jumped in and she got the little applause or whatever. I can't even read it. My eyes are bad.
She's face palming.
I could say whatever I want. It's my birthday.
I do what I want.
It's not my birthday, but I've been looking for a way to segue into my new button.
Oh. So yeah,
It's been a reference on this show since like episode 2, but I could never find a
it's
way
so
with
nice that
this
he
system
doesn't
to put
scream it anymore though. So the button's actually less offensive.
No, but tell him about your daughter though. He let her watch the show.
Oh yeah, well
It was
for-
cleaner back then.
Yeah, for a couple episodes, like we kept it really
Daddy
clean
does a
and
show.
appropriate.
My
Not
dad
allowed to
gave me-
watch.
Yeah.
Well, it worked out because like now they know I do the show.
Dad might go to jail.
Yeah, there's a couple that they can listen to, and that's good, and we're good. And
This is not one of them.
so all of a sudden she started, every time she buckled up, she did it for a couple weeks. Every time she would buckle up, she'd go, "It's my birthday!" buckle up her car seat. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Now it's
That's
ingrained.
cute, though.
I'm
That's
in
cute,
the
though.
system.
It's
Now-
just terrible.
Get my roots in there, and it's a mess now. she's gonna be talking about waffle shapes in a while. She's gonna be
Waffle
like,
shapes
"Why
and
did we
all
give up on the waffle, Dad?" The best part
She's
of my
not here
day.
in this episode.
The best part of my day is when somebody reacts to what I said by dropping their head slightly and just shaking their head. That is
In a state of
that's
pure
it.
disappointment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I live. I feed off of that.
He's like, this is all my father ever gave me. I feel at home.
No.
Disappointment in you is like comfort food, huh?
So, my daughter's like first day in elementary school or something. I don't remember which school it was. I think it was elementary school. But like, you go in, you do the open house, right? And this is where their seats are going to be and stuff. And like, they leave a little thing that where you can leave your kid a note. And so I wrote on the note, "Never trust a fart." You know, like give him some advice to help him through school. And that's what I put on it. And my wife's like, "You're such an asshat." And I'm like, "I agree with you, but I still think it was a good, it's good advice."
It's fun.
And she's like, "You're going to embarrass the hell out of her." She showed it to everybody in class. She's like, "This is what my daddy says. Never trust a fart." And I was like, "That a girl.
Yep.
That's my girl right there.
Well
Don't be scared."
played.
Now, do your kids smoke cigars too? Did you start them early?
So my kids are,
I mean, did you start them on a JRE product? Like
so my kids
Aladino?
are 5. So no.
Well, you know what? Tobacco is a natural product. I'm just saying. It's not like
weak-ass
it's not like
5-year-olds are still
It's
on
not like a cigarette where there's all
I've
kind
seen
of
pictures
chemicals.
back in the days.
So
Come
like
on.
I have to be really careful with bourbon around the house because apparently that's popular. Yeah, my daughter was like 3, maybe 4, and I set a glass of scotch down on the counter, Lafroig.
Oh,
She went over and she
Well, she
took
picked a
sip.
good one.
She took a sip and she goes, "Daddy, that's yummy." And I was like, "Put it down, put it down." You know what I mean? Like
On the plus side, it's a little bit less you'll have to save for college.
Yeah. Then next thing I know, I turn around and she's taking it to the face. I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, no!" And she's like, "It's really good." And I'm like, "You shouldn't think that. Yet. That's not great. That's not great."
Poison. Put that down.
That's your mother's gonna kill me. Don't tell your mom. First thing she says when my wife walks in the door, "Daddy said that I'm not supposed to tell you that I like Lafroig." Thanks, Charlie.
And now you know why they won't let him be a scout leader anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
Well,
bet-
among other things.
It's still better than the reason that you're not allowed near elementary school. So it's cool.
Hey. I shave off my mustache one time, people start tasing me. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
That in the white van with the blacked out windows, and with like a rod and reel of candy on a hook.
Playing the ice cream music.
Yeah.
It's
with
good
a
for
loudspeaker
carp.
going, "Come here, little girl. You want some candy?"
Carp love candy. That's all I'm going to say.
Carp love candy. Huh? So we're going with.
You got to find something.
Wow, someone's having a
there's
party.
some excitement.
Somebody is
happening.
really excited. That's
All right,
awesome.
the rowdy people got here. Fred,
On that note,
toss them.
It's like they're all outside.
Can't toss them. They're outside. What do you think? Should we talk about what's about to happen?
Let's talk about what's about to happen.
talk
Sam's
about
going to
what's
let
about to-
the kids at home know what events are popping off in our neck of the woods.
And if we're missing anything for you, chime in with it. So
You've got the number.
yeah.
You need to send us the info.
I'll do the background
there
music.
you
Ready?
go. Yeah, not the same porn music you used for that other one.
Oh,
So
come on. It was good.
Thursday, August 18th, the Swine Asylum Pig Roast at Smokestack in Coriopolis, featuring amazing deals on Asylum, Eiroa, and CLE cigars. We'll be roasting a whole pig, no cost to you. Stay tuned for prizes.
The better Eiroa is here right now, just
Yeah.
for the record. He says he's winning the fight. So
Yeah, he did claim that he would take Christian. He was definitely baited into it, but yeah.
What? What are you talking about?
We have it on record.
I would never do such a thing.
Sunday, August 24th, Crowned Heads with Miguel Schodel at Cigarra from 2 to 6 with great deals on Crowned Head cigars, beer, and bourbon for those who wish to partake.
I wish.
Wednesday, August 24th, a cigar and cocktail event at RB Cigar and S Speakeasy, featuring 5 cocktail samples and cigars from Alec Bradley, located at 201 Main Street in Butler, PA. This is a ticketed event, but only couples will enjoy a discount.
Will they enjoy it? I think they will.
Or will they get a couple
You'll
discounts?
enjoys it.
It's a couple discounts.
Mm-hmm. Pitter patter.
But no, too much. Okay.
For once, it's an excuse for a husband to bring their wife to an event. You get a discount. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honey,
don't
hey,
leave her at home.
Do you know how we could save some money? You could go with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets there and he's disappointed in himself because she came with him and he didn't buy 35 cigars like he wanted. He bought 4 and she still yelled at him.
We were talking about
that never happened.
The barn smoker, and they showed us all the swag they got, and I said I want to go to that next year. My wife was in. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I'll go. I'm like, hell yeah. You ever watch The Simpsons? That big coat that Homer makes Marge wear to the Candy Expo? I said, I'm gonna get you so many pockets. You're gonna have cigars and pockets you didn't know that you could have. You're gonna come out. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be a good time for sure. So we pick up the fans a little bit, but it's not disorienting or it's okay. It's okay. We've got the effects happening here.
Fine.
Atmospheric.
So
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about our award for the
We
week?
do. We should
It's-
probably do that award.
Yeah, I think we have the. I don't know if we agreed on it. Did we agree on it?
I hope so.
Did you? Okay.
I already had it
'cause-
built, so
Just fair enough.
just
you
making
know.
sure.
We
A new
both-
car.
But wait,
Yeah.
there's more.
It's an NFT though, so you don't get to have the car. You just have the rights to the
that
car.
guy's car that
Yeah.
so somebody parks in a parking lot. You get the NFT to that guy's car.
The white van with the blacked out windows. Actually, the participation trophy of the week, I believe we're referring to it as the Golden Grasshopper, which I love.
Yes.
Goes to our girl Colby.
Yes.
Because Colby's been a badass participating in all the live chats. She's getting in there on the page, letting us know what's going on. And Colby, we appreciate you being a part of the community.
Is that what you
Cigar show.
appreciate about Colby?
That's what I
That's
appreciate.
like one of my
about her.
favorite cheeses.
She's my
too.
favorite listener.
Oh, yeah.
Colby.
Yeah. Colby, are you cheesy?
I don't
Well,
remember. I
that
think her
wasn't
wife's
supposed to go
name
that way.
is Pam.
Pam.
But maybe we could call her Jack. Colby Jack.
I don't know that that's going to go over
No,
well.
yeah, probably not.
I'm just throwing it out there. Like maybe you could find out later.
Yeah.
So.
She's going to be hanging out with us at the after party over at the Leanin' House tonight.
So we.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's got a band up there tonight.
Speaking of
Final
which,
Time
that
too.
could be in the events. I mean, you only
Probably
got a
have
couple of
finished it.
hours,
Yeah.
but come hang out with me and Sam and watch Final Time 2. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, buddy.
Love getting wasted on that deck.
Yeah, it's a good place for it. And
For sure. On any deck. I mean,
Decks are
Yeah,
a good
but-
place to get
but you can
wasted.
get wasted
in general.
under the deck.
Yeah.
And on the deck there.
Yeah,
He's got the speakeasy
it's
underneath
a
now.
double decker.
yeah, I have a deck just built a couple years ago, and I tell you what, it's great because I have a deck and a patio and a bar in my basement, so I can go bar hopping in my own house.
I've sat on his deck.
I'll go a question
Oh,
for you.
Fred likes to sit on my deck.
I'll go just a little.
I don't even have a button for that. I don't even know what to say.
I'll just have one little question. Is it a big dick or a little dick?
It's a little. It's a medium.
It's an
dick.
average size deck.
It's an average sized dick.
Average size.
All I
cool
can tell
size.
you is that a average sized deck looks huge on a small guy.
Well, Fred always tells me to trim my shrubs to make my deck look bigger.
Oh,
so-
it's all
Wait.
about curb appeal.
You're gonna trim what? Your shrubbery.
Oh, hold on.
We want a shrubbery.
Thank you for that. I appreciate you finally getting on board.
Leaning into it a little bit.
I like the fact that it has the little shiny graphics on it. Keeps me engaged with it. I need something sparkly to capture my.
I don't think Colby was here. Because
She was.
It just now says that she's watching.
No, because she's the one that said that love is like a fart.
I know.
She's been in. Oh, was she not here to know that she got
Yeah,
her
I think
her
she-
major award? It's
yeah.
a major award.
It's a huge thing.
It's for Gile. I think it's Italian.
Fred, did you turn on the air conditioning? I'm sweating like
understood
Mike
that
Tyson on an airplane, man.
like a whore in church?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't. We don't have a big audience, but I wouldn't think it's small enough that you want to go on the interwebs mentioning Mike Tyson, because you never know. That dude's got money for playing. He might take up.
He could probably hunt me down.
He
probably
could
has
hop
way-
on a plane just to come here and find you.
He
That's true.
literally slept with a tiger in his bed. Like, that's insane.
Everything else is just speculation. What happened between them? Who was the big spoon? Who was the little spoon? We don't talk about.
I
So.
don't even care. I'll be wherever spoon he tells me to be. I'm not even gonna question him. He's gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna listen. That is a scary, scary human being.
So we're always talking about ways to get publicity and to grow the brand. I think a face tattoo would do it. A bottle of just the tipsy.
Just like right there.
Yes,
Huh? Just
yeah.
go for. Yeah, no, not so much. Yes,
quitter.
Colby, you did miss something. You missed your reception of the participation trophy, the Golden Grasshopper of the week.
You are the golden
For
grasshopper.
all that you and Pam do for us.
Oh, I didn't add that one in yet, though.
Yeah,
That's a sound effect that I forgot, but we'll get there.
I'm not a cricket, bro.
That's right. I'm working on it. I can still pull it up on the board proper, but I don't want
touch
to
that board.
accident.
You always screw things up when you touch that board.
That's the whole idea. Is I don't want to have to touch that no more. Just leave it be
That
until
board,
the show's done.
It hates us.
The amount of times that we've accidentally ended a show halfway through or not remembered to put a memory card in, the options are countless for the ways that I can mess this up. So it was a little intimidating coming here with some new toys to try to do it a
Did
different
good.
way. But hey, we're trying to grow.
Did
Yeah.
good.
I can't grow
Beautiful
high
setup.
anymore, but
Yeah,
there's
we
options.
really appreciate you having us here, man.
Absolutely.
It's been a
worked
lot of
out.
fun. Yeah,
It's worked
and
out.
it's a nice little corner for it too. To get
Worked
actually,
out.
the space was perfect.
In the
Yeah.
corner. Get in the corner.
Well, as we're winding down here, I do want to at least give a shout out to the new members in the Cigar Junkies group on Facebook. If you haven't joined yet, do yourself a favor and hop in there. You can hang out with colorful people like Colby, Chichingo, Patty, Dougie Doug, my wife. That didn't sound right. Anyways, Rick Noggle, S.K. Williams, Daggett Brayan. That's a hell of a name. God dag it.
I like it.
God dag it. Jefferson Marconetti, Stephen Wells, Mark Allen, Dan
Cellini.
Oh, okay. Cellini, Cigar Life, Gilvin Mason, and Joshua Thibodeau. So thank you guys.
That's 3 weeks in a row that we've brought up Joshua Thibodeau, and you said his name wrong all 3 weeks.
I don't know if I've said it every week. So at least you get part. Tell them to quit joining. I don't know what to tell you. I copy it straight from Facebook says, welcome your new members. I copy it from there every
Team
week.
4.
So if they're putting it in, it's their fault. Blame Zuckerberg for that one, I guess.
Bastard. Damn you, Metaverse.
As long as we're getting rich people to hunt us down and take out their vengeance on us.
Sweet, sweet. All right, well, I think that's
I feel like we've crossed enough lines. We've angered enough people. So on behalf of Fred Findley over at Nelson Laguasto's Cigars, Aladino Cigars,
get your butt down here and
Yeah,
spend
we're
some
here
money.
till 5:30. The food just got here. Pizza, sandwiches, $6.
Now you're talking my language.
And live music starts at 3:00.
Hell yeah.
As always, check out the link description below the episode to find out where you can get our merch and support our sponsors. But it's been good having you guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.